All right, let's jump straight into this one here. Yeah, I saw something. This one's actually on TikTok, and they're talking about whether your partner should know your income and whether that's cool or not. Here out anyway. Here it is.
What you're bringing in?
No, it's not a topic of conversation. The
You
bills are
can't even
paid.
bring a roundabout figure like I roughly.
But how does that conversation even come up?
When you're getting to know each other?
Really? Is that what we're doing? That's crazy.
I think the only time it matters really if you was then going to build and maybe you were getting a house,
a mortgage application. Yeah, that's the only time.
But this is what I said. I gave you guys the scenario of you're with a long-term partner, you're getting married, or you've been married.
Oh, you're talking about buying a house with him?
No.
Oh, so you're not doing that.
Firstly, so that's Mama Drama podcast.
Yeah.
So shout out to the girls at Mama, and that's actually a friend of mine, Ange. So hate to disagree with you, Ange. Hate to disagree with you. All love, but hate to disagree. I actually think that is wild to actually say. They kind of made two different points. Like if you're getting to know someone and then long-term relationship.
I think the main point was if you're in a relationship with someone, should they or
getting to know someone. So I'll just quickly getting to know someone.
Yeah,
not necessarily your business. In a relationship, so long-term relationship, like we're actually together, we live with each other, we have kids, or we're married, and you don't know my income, I don't know your income. Mad. There's nothing more to say. I can't actually even fathom how someone could think it's reasonable not to know.
I'm baffled that it's a taboo. Like, why is it
a
problem? If you've chosen to be with this person, double up as a team, live together, raise your family, be in a relationship, then why is that conversation off the table?
Yeah, not that everyone's money is common funds.
No, but
that's not what they're saying. I'm taking it. We're not saying, oh, all of your money. Now I know what you earn. Now all of your money goes into the common pot. That how you separate your money, different conversation. But should I know what you earn? I believe in radical transparency. So we're in a relationship. There's going to have to be radical transparency. There isn't really nothing off the table about what I should know.
What's the driver for that though? Because the only thing I could think of why that's a problem is if you're either competing with each other or you don't trust that person.
Yeah.
Or
so someone in the comments, I did look at it, was like, never tell a man how much money you earn because he's going to take all your money. Listen, that's a separate issue because if that's what you're thinking, if I tell him what I earn, man's going to try and get my money, then maybe you're not in a relationship you ought to be in anyway. But assuming that's not the case, I don't think it's anything to do with that you're buying a house or making a large purchase. I can see reasons
why someone might not tell them. I'm not saying it's a good reason. I'm not saying a good reason.
Yeah, why?
Like insecurities, like you're insecure.
Yeah, but we're talking about a long-term partner.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's valid. I'm just saying, like a man earned less than his woman, yeah, he might make him feel a bit weak or insecure about it.
I hear that.
But
then either up your game,
but also beyond upping your game,
to your wife,
because some women can be
how she makes you feel.
Some women can be doing bits and doing well, yeah.
That's
but
good.
What I'm saying is that if that's your woman, your partner, then it shouldn't be off the table for discussion. Why can't you talk about it? Because how's she gonna big you up to go for that next promotion or to launch that big next business?
You wouldn't need to know what somebody earns.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that basically, why is it a taboo topic? Money in that home.
For me, it's just much
on
more
road.
Basic.
You don't need to know that. You don't need to know my income. If you're my wife, why is it secrecy?
Yeah,
why is that?
And I think that's the point. Like for me, like I said, radical transparency. There isn't really anything in a long-term loving relationship partnership that is off the table, in my opinion. Because one minute you're keeping your income secret, next minute your second wife's a secret? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, why is anything off the table? Why are there secrets? Why are there things that I can't know about you? What's the fear? If I know this, then what does that mean? Or if I don't tell you this, what am I scared you're going to do? For me, all of that kind of links or is a red flag for other issues. Because actually, in reality, it don't make no difference. You have your money management system, and that may be different for everyone, but it might be regardless of what you earn, we all put this much in the pot, or you put nothing in the pot, I'll put it in the pot. Whatever the system is irrelevant. Just knowing that figure, I just literally can't imagine what the problem is. Of course, we're going to share that with one another. it's like basic information. It ain't even that deep. It's actually basic information. Unless I was scared you're going to take my money. If I'm scared you're going to take my money, or now you're going to be asking me for money every minute, then we just got a different issue.
Finances in a relationship
have to be open.
Well, you have to be open for the communication anyway, but like finances play a role in it. It happens. It's a thing, innit? You got to pay the bills. You got to, pay for the children. You got to pay for food, trips, home, holidays, whatever it is. Yeah, it's like it's a day-to-day occurrence. Why are we not talking about it? Why?
I think that's different.
But why are we only talking about if you're buying a house together? That's mad. Like, why?
But I guess they're not talking about expenses. We're just talking.
No,
that's what I'm saying. It's even a step back.
Even to know, like, how are we going to tackle this, or what do we need to pull back on, or what can we afford to go forward on? Like, why are we not talking?
Yeah, why don't we know where we stand as a family?
Mad.
And I think if we don't know what each other earns, then we don't know where we stand as a family, which would prevent bigger actions such as buying a house, making an investment. So I just think there's no harm. I just don't get what the harm is. Like, it's transparency, as we should be transparent about most things. There shouldn't, in my opinion, there isn't really a place for secrets in a loving and effective relationship. There's no place for secrets. If we have other issues, other fears, which will prevent you from telling me what you earned, then we need to address those anyway. But actually, this is like kind of core information, and we should know where each other stands. There's just no need for that lack of transparency. And if we have lack of transparency there, I'll be worried about where else we have a lack of transparency. So for me, that's not a big deal. And I think it's understanding that, just because I earn this amount doesn't mean I'm saying that's what's going into the common pot. But here's what I earn. It's no biggie.
I would almost be like, if you feel uncomfortable sharing that information, then there's something else we've got to work on.
That's what I'm saying. It's a kind of a flag for something
what's the
else.
root cause here why you're uncomfortable having a conversation? I'm not saying, be judged on it. That if that having that level of transparency, if you can't talk about it, or you're uncomfortable with this topic, then maybe there's a lack of trust.
I wonder.
Maybe there's an insecurity here that I need to do something to make you not feel that way. That way you can't share that.
I wonder if, like, let's say a woman who doesn't want to share her income is also happy not to know his income. Is that a two-way thing? Like, we both don't need to know what each other earns? Or is it more like, I don't want to tell you what I earn, but I need to know what you earn? Like, I wonder if there's a thing there. Like, is it like what that person in the comments was saying? Is there some sort of fear?
That might even see the other video we done about provision. Imagine that. This pressure being put on men to provide, and you don't even know what he earns because you ain't chatting about it.
Yeah, that's mad.
What?
That is insane. How you gonna? Yeah, because then how can you set an expectation, or even to yourself? How can you be reasonable if you don't know what he earns? He might earn way more as well. It could go both ways. Like, if he earns way more,
or
then
he might be doing
the
the absolute most of what you got, and you're being ungrateful. Like, that's mad. That's mad.
Yeah, I personally, literally, just don't even see what the problem is. Maybe educate me. Maybe I'm missing something.
That's not an education thing. It's an informing thing. That's what I think.
I'm saying maybe we're missing something about what the potential issues are with sharing your income. Because to me, it's literally wild.
I get it if you are, dating early doors. Maybe not all the cards on the table yet. You're still figuring it out. If you're in a long-term relationship, then you've got stuff that I don't know about. No. Yeah,
I agree.
No.
Radical transparency on all things. And that, I think they mentioned debt at one point. And one of the girls was like, if we're in debt, we're not in a relationship anyway. And, again, maybe when you're starting out and you're selecting people, that's not a good. I mean, like, for example, we have known couples who clearly don't know each other's income. So one of them is struggling financially. Like, and when I say struggling, I mean like really stressed, struggling. And the other one has no idea, but also has money, but doesn't know what's going on. So they've got this other partner at home who's literally, when I say stress, I mean literally banging head against the wall, struggling. And meanwhile, because there isn't that transparency, this is a literal thing, it's a real incidence of what we know. Because there's no transparency, the other partner's completely oblivious. Could help, could solve the problem.
Not even just could help, would help.
Would help, yeah, not even,
would help.
Exactly.
So
and I guess that's a lot to do with maybe embarrassment, shame. But I think when you're in a relationship, much of those kind of basically egotistical things have to be put to the side sometimes. And that transparency, that communication is what's key. And your embarrassment, your shame, your fear is secondary to the relationship, and the relationship requires transparency. so that you can, like you said, either support in a time of crisis, so that you have building opportunities, you know, kind of what's potential based on like your income, or even like you said, so that if I know, okay, right now you're on 60K, I might be like, no man, let's go for the 80K. Let's build it up. You're better than that.
You can do more.
Yeah, but without having that transparency, and obviously that requires removing judgment, that requires removing negativity,
well,
talking shit to one another.
There's other things at play here.
There must be.
There's other things at play. If you feel like you can't do that with the person that you have chosen to be with, then there's more core foundational things at play here than the money, the monetary number. It's about you don't trust this person, or you feel like you're going to be belittled or ridiculed, or do you know what I mean? And those are things that need to be worked on at a deeper level
100%.
Instead of keeping secrets.
100%. But I think in that example that I gave a minute ago, and probably in other examples, just the lack of communication, the lack of openness can have other negative impacts. If you're not able to have that for whatever reason, it's going to land you in difficulty eventually. You know, even if it's when it's time to save, how can we set joint goals around saving if we don't know what each other earns? It just seems mad to me that would be information that you feel.
Some people are separate though, you know. Some people are separate.
I think you can be separate though. That's what I'm saying. Me, you could be like, oh, I earn 100K, you earn 100K, and that's it. After that, you don't need to know what I do with my money. I'm not even saying that you need to tell people what you do with your money. You know, that might be a separate thing. But just like this, to me, this is like basic information. It's not that deep. It's like, when's your birthday? To me, it's like, when's your birthday? It's just basic. I don't necessarily have to do anything with that information. One, I do find it helpful in a relationship. I think it's actually useful because you kind of know where you stand and what you can do, like I said. But two, it's not, I just don't find it that deep, a piece of information. How you spend your money is different. If someone was like, I said, oh, I earn 50K. And then you were like, yeah, well, what do you do with your 50K? I might be like, okay, relax, bro.
Come on, business.
I mean, I wouldn't. I'm happy. I believe in radical transparency. So I wouldn't. But I could understand why someone was like, okay, don't worry about my money. If the bills are paid and I've put my money into the pot that I was meant to, don't worry about what happens afterwards. That I could understand. But just the number, nah, man, share it. And share most things. That and most core piece of information on the table, man. On the table.
And if you're not sharing, why you ain't sharing it? I'd like to know in the comments.
That's what I'm saying. What's the core?
If you believe in, you know, keeping your income to yourself and that your partner has no right or shouldn't know it, then I'd like to know why. Because that Sharon said, educate us or inform us on your point of view, your opinions on it. But I don't get it. So I'd like to know. I'd like to understand more.
For sure.